The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Hey, it's up to us to take out Umbrella.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dead Fiend channel, for I am Guido. You thought I was going to say Dr. Frankenstein, didn't you? Nope, not today.
Not today.
But today we're going to be doing a first here on the channel. We're going to be doing a ranking video. A ranking of every Resident Evil video game throughout the whole entire franchise. It's going to be the main titles and the subtitles. We're not going to be doing anything that's fan-made or anything that's been modified. So, I found this website here, a little friendly, user-friendly website called Tier Maker, where you can go in, type whatever it is that you're looking for, and it gives you a whole slew of options to choose from. And you can go in, you can lay out your different rankings, your levels of tier. As you can see here, I have a 6-tier ranking. A for superb, or excuse me, S for superb, A for great, B for good, C for okay, D for eh, and yes, unfortunately, there are some titles that I've never played, let alone never knew existed. So if you're like me, you want something that's simple and easy and not too crazy out of this world, I highly suggest this website. It's perfect layout. Now, I'm going to briefly touch on each and every video game when I go through the ranking system, but I'm not going to ramble on too much because I want to get through this. So with all that being said, let's start off with the first one. The first one we have here is Resident Evil Revelations 2. I have never played this one. I picked up a physical copy for the PS4 here recently, but I'm yet to play it because I still need to play the first one. So, that goes into the never played rank. Next up, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I thought this game was very, very well done and extremely scary for what Capcom did with it. And for Capcom to state that they went back to the roots of survival horror and Resident Evil. Survival horror, yes. Resident Evil, not so much. I just don't see it. To me, it didn't feel like a Resident Evil game. I liked everything about it, especially the character of Jack Baker and the whole Baker family. I definitely get some Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes from this, that's for sure. But to me, it's just not Resident Evil. But it was a very good game. So, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard gets a B. Next up, Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. I've never played this game, so I don't know. Alright, next, Resident Evil 5. I used to hate this game for the longest time, and I don't know why. First time I ever played it was on Xbox 360, and I might, or probably was under the influence of mind-altering chemicals at the time. That would make for a good video later down the road. But, I don't know, at the time, I beat it, played it all the way through, beat it, I did not care for it. Until later down the road, I picked up another copy for the PS4, played it all the way through, loved it. And plus, Wesker is one of my favorite characters next to Chris.
Don't need anyone else.
Plus, how can we all forget Chris Boner Punching Redfield? Why?
Okay, I give up.
So, Resident Evil 5. Oh, and character of Sheva. I wish they would have done more with her because she was a good character. Resident Evil 5, you get a B. RE-verse. I've heard of it, but I've never adventured into it. Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. I played this for a couple hours and then stopped. Same with Resident Evil Outbreak. I like the gameplay. I like the stories, the characters. The only thing I did not care for was the extreme tank controls. So if Capcom could have figured that out and figured out how to make it better, this probably would have got a higher ranking from me. And plus, at the time, with the online gaming, I mean, I don't want to say it was unknown, but just a lot of people weren't doing it at the time. It was something completely different. So, Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, it's a hard one. I'm going to have to give them both a C. Oh, Lord. This next one, I cringe every time I think about it or I hear somebody talk about it. Resident Evil Dead Aim. I never hated a game in all my life until I played this and beat it. I hated everything about this game as far as the gameplay, the story, the characters, the music, and I just could not get into it, man. I know, I understand that there's people out there that do enjoy this, but this was not for me. Like, I've never been so pissed in all my life over a video game. My mom got me a copy of this, and after I played it and beat it, I demanded that she took it back and got her money back, and that's exactly what we did. But when we went to go take it back, I stopped myself. I was like, do I really want to do this? Just because it was a Resident Evil game. And I thought about it, and yeah, get your money back, Mom. If I could throw this game in the trash, I would, but I can't. Fortunately, I have to give it a D. And you know what's funny is I recently picked up a physical copy of this game, and the physical representation, the aesthetics of it, fits perfectly. Where it's been water damaged, it's been damaged by the sun color is starting to fade, everything like that. So hey, what better way to describe exactly how I feel about this game? I mean, surprisingly, everything is damaged except for the disc. The disc is in really good condition. And the booklet itself, yeah, it's literally glued together. I can't open up the pages or anything. So Resident Evil Dead Aim, you get a D from me. Alright, ooh, we can do these back to back. Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles and Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. Played both of them twice. I thought they were okay, rail shooter games, or whatever you want to call it. But, I don't know, that style of gameplay is just, it's not my favorite. I played it just to play it. It was okay. It was okay. So, Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles, you both get a C. Alright, here we go. A lot of controversy about this game. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I thought everything about this game was great. And, you know, a very good suppressor to the Resident Evil 2 Remake. Except for the fact that Capcom took out quite a bit. A big chunk of the story in this game. And a lot of people really didn't care for the re-imaging of Nemesis, and personally, I thought he looked badass. I mean, at least he wasn't the Operation Raccoon City Nemesis. Stars! Right? So, Resident Evil 3 Remake, you're going to get a B from me. Alright, now we have the original, the OG 96 release of Resident Evil. If it wasn't for this game, we wouldn't have this series, let alone the franchise. I loved everything about this game, and just like many of you, the voice acting is what killed it for me.
It's me, Chris.
Is that you, Rebecca? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Okay, let me handle this.
Oh, this hole is dangerous. Yeah. So, Resident Evil, the OG, you are going to get an A. You could have been superb if it wasn't for that voice acting. Next, we have Resident Evil 0. I enjoyed this game to an extent. I wasn't really too fond of the whole co-op switching back and forth with Rebecca and Billy. The whole layout of the game controls was completely different. and the main factor that we didn't have an item box, so you pretty much had to drop everything on the floor and just hope to God you remember where you dropped it. That's really what killed it for me. And some of the enemies and the bosses in this game were pretty good, despite the fact of those little demon spawn monkey things, whatever the hell those were. But it was okay. It was good, but Resident Evil 0, you get a C. Resident Evil Resistance. I know what it is, but I've never played it, so. Ooh, here we go. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the original. I rented this game when it came out, played it, took me like 3 hours to beat it, turned around, played it again and beat it, and then shortly after, my dad took me out and got me a copy of it. And I absolutely loved it, from the story to the gameplay and the weapons and the characters, and of course, Nemesis. Nemesis is badass. How can you not like Nemesis? So Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, you get an A. Resident Evil Revelations, just like Revelations 2, I just recently picked up a copy for the PS4. I've only played like 15 minutes into it, so even though I've played it, I haven't played it. Now, I originally downloaded this for the PlayStation 3, but shortly after, my PS3 took a shit on me, and I ended up picking up another PS3, and I forgot to download it for the longest time. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put you in the never played section, right next to Revelations 2. Resident Evil Gun Survivor Code Veronica. I've seen screenshots, I've seen gameplay. A friend of mine recently streamed this not too long ago, and from what I saw, I'm okay, I'm content. Yeah. I guess that's all I can say about it. I've never played it. Ooh, here we go, same with this one. Umbrella Corpse. I never knew this game existed up until here recently. I guess it was a digital download and they did a physical copy run. And looking around on eBay, this game goes for $100+. From the video that I saw on this on YouTube, I'm okay. I can do without. If I could put it up with a D, I would, but unfortunately, I've never played it. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Ooh. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yes. There was a lot of fans that had high expectations for this game, and I can say that Capcom pretty well met all of my expectations for this game. If it wasn't for this remake, I never would have went out and bought a PlayStation 4. That's the only reason why I went out and got one, is because of this game right here. And Resident Evil 2 Remake, you get an S ranking. S for superb. Speak of the devil. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. To me, this was like Call of Duty meets Resident Evil, and the way they executed this game, I did not care for it at all. And just like I stated earlier about how they did that to Nemesis. Stars! Yeah. Need I say more? Operation Raccoon City, if I could throw you in the trash, I could, or I would, but you're going to get a D. Ooh, looks like we got some grails coming up. Resident Evil 2, the original. This is the first one I ever played, and then I went back and, yeah. This game holds a huge place in my heart, just because it was the first one I ever played, and I absolutely loved the story. I mean, Leon and Claire, yeah, great characters. Even though my favorite characters are always going to be Jill and Chris. But the whole story throughout this series right here, I absolutely loved. And of course, how can we forget about Mr. X? I mean, every time he made a hell of an entrance, didn't he? So, Resident Evil 2, the original, you are right up there in the S rank. As a matter of fact, you're going to be in front of a remake. There we go, talking about remake. Resident Evil, the remake of the original. If you want to play a remake that was made right, I highly suggest that you play this one if you have not. If you haven't, what the hell are you waiting on? Everything from the gameplay, the story, the characters, the enemies, and little add-ons that they added on in the game, this remake was done right and done properly. Resident Evil Remake, you get an S. Resident Evil 4. First time I played this was for the Nintendo GameCube and then the PlayStation 2, and I didn't play it again up until maybe a couple months ago. Same thing, I picked up another copy for the PS4, and I used to hate this game for the longest time, just because of the whole over-the-shoulder view, and I thought the story was good then, yeah, I'll give you that, but I was so used to the fixed camera angles and then seeing over the shoulder, I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. But after going back and replaying it, I don't understand why I didn't like this game, because it was a damn good game. And definitely a game changer, that's for sure. Resident Evil 4, you are going to get an A. Ooh. Resident Evil Code Veronica. Code Veronica X, to be specific. First time I ever played this was at a friend's house. He had a Dreamcast. He wouldn't play this game because it was too scary for him. Understandable. But you best believe I played it. And then I got a copy of it for the PlayStation 2. Played it a handful of times, and that was about the extent of it until I downloaded it on the PS4 again. And this is a very underrated Resident Evil game. By far one of the best throughout the whole entire series. This should have been the true installment for Resident Evil 3. And I will say, throughout all the games, this one right here is by far probably one of the hardest Resident Evil games throughout the whole entire series. Just the scarce of the ammo and the health, God, that'll leave you on edge, let alone. So you're pretty much a big hoarder throughout the whole entire game, anytime you get ammo or get health. If Capcom was to go back and do a remake of another Resident Evil, Resident Evil Code Veronica X definitely deserves a remake. So Resident Evil Code Veronica X, you get an A. Resident Evil Gun Survivor. A lot of people hate this game. There's quite a few that like this game. And I fall into the minority, which this is actually a guilty pleasure of mine. I enjoy this game quite a bit. I mean, the gameplay is not the greatest. The rail shooter, first person and everything, and the whole character of Art Thompson, and the thing that really killed it, obviously, the voice acting, the tank controls, but I don't know why. Like I said, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I enjoyed it. So, Resident Evil Survivor, you get a B. Resident Evil Gaiden, however you want to pronounce it. Never played it, so I don't know. Resident Evil 6. To me, there was entirely way too much going on in this game. Like, there was a lot of action packed into it. I thought it was cool for the multiple campaign story modes, but first time I played it was on the Xbox 360, Leon's campaign. Played it, beat it all the way through just to say that I beat it, and I never touched it again up until a couple months ago. I tried to play Leon's campaign again, played it about halfway through, and stopped. I can't get into this game for whatever reason. I don't know why. So, Resident Evil 6, it was okay, but I just didn't care for it. You get a D. And coming up to the last one with the latest installment, Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil 8. Bought it when it came out. Played like the first 15 minutes of it and then stopped. I do not know why. I don't know why. I just stopped. I mean, I can understand why people enjoy it because of the whole gameplay and the introduction of Lady Dimitrescu, Lady D, and her assets. That's really all I know about this game. So I can't say too much or say any more about it. You go into the never played rank.
Aww.
Alright, so that concludes my whole entire ranking of the Resident Evil video game throughout the whole entire series. Alright, so after going back and reviewing all the video I just recorded, I realized there is one video game that I forgot. And that was Resident Evil Deadly Silence. I don't know how I managed it, but I did. Very damn good game. I feel like this is where Capcom finally got everything correct when it came to Resident Evil Director's Cut. Got everything bunched up together, how the story should be, as far as gameplay and everything else, and they finally got it right. So, if you ever get a chance to pick up a copy of Resident Evil Deadly Silence for the DS, I highly recommend it. And plus, you get to touch Jill's butt.
Ah!
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
So with that being said, Resident Evil Deadly Silence is going to get an A from me. Alright, ladies and germs, that concludes my entire ranking of all of the Resident Evil games throughout the entire franchise. So I'm curious, write down in the comments down below, what is your top 5 favorite Resident Evil games throughout the whole entire series? And if you enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to smash that like button, because it does help out the channel tremendously. Now with all that being said, it's been fun. Until then, love, peace, and Donnie Osmond.